Just said it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So a lot of things happening for me, girl. All right, what it is, you guys, it is your girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping, girl, to see justice before all face to black. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, I am coming through today on October the 27th. Yes, I am here. I am about to reapply. What is that on my head? Girl, it's always something on my face when I try to do any type of video. I hate that. The last one I reviewed, I don't know, that's like dry skin. The last one I reviewed had some lint on my shirt and it irritated me the whole time I was trying to watch it back. But anyways, that ain't nothing but the devil. We gonna keep on rolling, right? Okay, so I told y'all that I was at work, even that they try to stick me in one spot that irritates my carpal tunnel the most at work. And every day they want me to be there. They get upset when anybody else has to do it. And I'm like, wow, this is very unjust. You know, but I'm one that takes injustice and turn it to justice. So while being placed in this place that's gonna make me hurt and flare up and hurt my hands, I said, since y'all always gonna sit me there, put me there, let me go ahead and do something that's gonna better myself while I'm there. So I came up with these great notes. So in this one, I am comparing how the justice system exhibits narcissism. Yes, justice system and narcissism. Y'all know I just did a two-part series on narcissistic energy in my life. Let me let the window down a little bit. It's hot, y'all. I'm sorry. So I just did a video about narcissistic energy in my life and how it stalls your life, how it makes you question your reality. Your reality becomes the reality that someone else paints for you, and your character is changed. You're not no longer who you are. You're who they say you are. So I compared this, and it is flowing so great. So here's my notes. Be like gentle with me, girl. Number one, I'm legally blind, so it is kind of hard to read. And plus, I have chicken scratch handwriting. Your girl can draw, but she can't write, which is so silly, but I cannot write. So sometimes it's even hard for me to read my own handwriting back. Okay, so how the justice system exhibits narcissism. Society or the masses assume that the system is good and it is there to keep us safe. And it goes by laws and procedures that ensure the rights of those being reprimanded or overseen by the system. Through the forcing of those laws and procedures, they are maintaining each under their rules, constitutional, civil, and human rights. If the system was, in fact, like it was intended, or as close in proximity of what was intended, I even myself would say the system was fair and just and keeping us safe, because that's what they say, it's there to keep us safe. Okay, and then I have a little side note. Just as in narcissism, the system hides behind a mask, it hides behind a safety mask. Okay, and then in narcissism, the person hides behind a mask of who is basically their persona they create. And that's who they represent to the world, but they're actually something behind that mask. So just as that, there's also that narcissism within the system that hides behind the mask of keeping you safe, but it's actually not 100% keeping us safe. So I am digging further into that. I think the biggest objective of the system should be safety. We should all be protected and able to live in a safe, healthy environment. Now, in order for the system to truly keep us safe, since it hides behind a safety mask, it has to actually follow its own laws and procedures. Not doing so is where we start to see, just like a person with narcissistic personality disorder, a two-faced system. It doesn't always uphold justice for all, which in turn means it doesn't always keep us safe. Okay? So let's look at that for a moment. Would you trust crossing a bridge that didn't seem safe and didn't pass some sort of safety inspection? Would you take a flight in which the safety rules and regulations may be held up depending on who's on the flight? And then I got in quotes, depending on who's the defendant. What about on a bus or a train, a roller coaster ride, cruise ship? They all have a purpose. No matter what it may be, safety has to be its first priority. Okay, now, ways the current system is not keeping us safe. So, since safety needs to be the priority, I'm showing you how it's not keeping us safe. Okay, sometimes it's keeping us safe, sometimes it's not. So, it's a wishy washy. Some victims don't get justice in the crimes committed against them. I bet you can't believe that. In a system that is upheld, sometimes, many times, don't arrest the person that committed the crime or crimes from petty to heinous against you, the victim. Also, to add insult to injury, many victims don't receive justice in the crimes committed against them, not because they couldn't find the person that perpetrated the crime or the crimes against them, but because there were many political games and alliances that they had to uphold in priority over you, the good, upstanding, law abiding citizen obtaining justice. So that means someone can commit a crime against you, but authorities will not arrest them. How is that keeping us safe? To interject for a moment, a tidbit about my husband's wrongful conviction case. Though there is no true victim in his case, unless we count my husband, because in all actuality, he is the only true victim in the alleged crime. The actual perpetrator in the alleged crime could not be brought to justice for a couple reasons. One, the crime in which Marcello Jackson is serving 40 years and have already served 21, almost 22 years on, never even happened. It is a fabricated crime that stemmed from bogus charges written by law enforcement. This is where just blindly backing the misconduct of officers can cost people their lives. That's not keeping us safe, is it? But to get back on track, there's no victim in Marcello's case because Marcello is convicted of a crime that never even happened. The officer took the occurrence of coming across Marcello, and because there was nothing he could actually charge Marcello or anyone with except for the driver of the vehicle, which could have only truly been charged with evading police. Y'all know that story. If y'all don't know that story, I'll try to find some links to give y'all, but I've told that story before. But the only thing that they really could have arrested anybody for anything would have been that driver. And the driver, it would have been evading police. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay. He decided to create a situation and then enforce charges against Marcello in that situation. So because there was nothing they could charge anybody else with, this officer had to make up some type of story that he can charge Marcello with something So this is where this fabricated robbery of $60 came from, right? Okay. Ooh, it's getting hot. Against Marcello in the situation. Okay. Oh, I can't see that. Okay, the officer created. The officer could not enforce the same concocted charges against the actual perpetrator. And why? Because the actual perpetrator gave confidential information. And that confidential information gave him immunity. Means he has to be subtracted from this case. We're going to push this case, but we cannot in no way include this driver. In this situation, so now the case of the officer, he can't arrest the actual perpetrator. So now he had to come up with a convincible story of how an innocent person actually committed these fabricated crimes that didn't actually happen, because the actual perp gave them something. So that is favor for favor. Because of his confidential information, he, favor in return, was dropping him from this case, though he was the one that was evading police. And to go further, the reason he was evading police is because he was out on bond. He had just got out on bond like a couple days prior. That's why he was evading police. Okay. But with the officer doing that in an indirect way, he actually not only didn't arrest the person that actually committed the crime of evading an officer, he gave him a pass and freedom to commit more crimes. Okay, let's read some of the other allegations. The true perp in the wrongful conviction of Marcello Jackson. I don't have that list with me right now, so I'm going to go back and do another video to do that. Okay, the true perp in the wrongful conviction case of Marcello Jackson committed after the incident with Marcello. There's a laundry list, and in fact, in the time in question with Marcello, the actual perp was out on bond for an existing case. This is the true reason he attempted to evade the police after he rolled or ran the stop sign. If he didn't have an existing case, it is quite probable, girl, I'm trying to talk proper, but can't say that. It is quite probable that when the car rolled the stop sign and the police officer put his lights and sirens on, the driver would have just pulled over and just been issued a warning or a traffic citation. So the driver, in all actuality, fleeing the police, he fled the police because he is out on bond. And he says he can't go back to jail. No one else I'm sorry. Ooh, I can't see that. Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Okay. So no one else in the car had reason to run. That's why nobody else ran. No one else had reason to run. Okay. To jail. But my personal feelings, he should have just taken the L. By him knowing the system and how to maneuver the system and looking at his arrest record, he would have just received another tap on the wrist. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right.